My blissful gorgeous selves, all the pastimes of Sri Krishna emanate from his infinite love. The basis of his love is Mahabhav. Therefore, ultimate nature of Krishna is Mahabhav. And this Mahabhav is experienced by anyone in the state of Prem Samadhi. And the first step towards this Prem Samadhi is to stay 24 hours in deepest possible relaxation. And this relaxation comes when you are natural, spontaneous, easy and simple and innocent, in a special way gullible. When you are gullible, you are set. Sri Krishna's gullibleness is infinite. His innocence is limitless. You just pick up a stone, a ouch, a statue, a portrait, an idol, beautiful or not beautiful. Just say, "Oh Krishna, this is you." And Krishna immediately says, "Oh yes, this is me." When Krishna himself accepts, then who on earth can say it is not him? Then say, "Now look, I am worshipping you." And then whether you are offering systematically 16 items or 64 items or Rajopachar, Maharajopachar, or just offering a few flowers, leaves, or any fruit, or just anything, who cares? Krishna, a little child of Nanda Maharaj, does not know to look for specifics. He does not know the traditional worship, what it is, how it is done. He doesn't care because he doesn't know. Therefore, mantras and items of worship, including all established procedures, are perfectly Vedic. You just leave them for scholars and religionists. All you have to do is just do worship as you know, as you can afford, as logically you are set in your mind, with as many things you can have. Okay? "Oh, you worship me, how wonderful you are, so dear to me you are." Immediately Krishna comes staring in wonder all what you are doing and speaks up. When Krishna accepted, who on earth can dare to discredit your worship? This is no God, this is stone, this is idol. The Arabian invaders exclaimed, "Yes, this is stone, this is idol." Krishna just imitated. "We will break the idols, break the temples. It is written in our Quran. It is what Muhammad has said." They said this too. "Break them. If it is your religion which is saying to break, then go ahead. But remember, when my people will rise, they will break your heads as you are breaking the idols. They will crush you down. You will have no space to live on the earth." Krishna enjoys equally whether it is making or breaking, child as he is, and most gullible one. All children make the toys, decorate, play, and then destroy them, and then applaud and dance and enjoy. This is no God. If you said this ever, okay, there is no any God, no need of him. Krishna dismissed everything. Now you can take care of your life because there will be no God for you. You cannot expect any help, any love, any comfort, and any hope from God. Even if you are trying to master Nirvikalpa Samadhi and you committed a mistake and you got a serious trouble, serious disease, then you take care of yourself. And there is no realized sense around, then you are in a serious trouble. And since there is no God for you, so God is not coming to help you. Now, He is not going to interfere in the sustenance, fall and rise of your life. You have to live by your own rules. Take care. Goodbye, so says Krishna. But you ever interfered His rules? Don't be that stupid. And very lack of knowledge of His laws, His cosmic laws that He has made, and natural laws that He has made, that flows from cosmic law to natural laws to man-made laws, national, international constitutions, and not keeping away from interfering with them will cause you drastic devastation, my dear friends. You want to bring change and evolution. If you are so revolutionary, then go ahead. Good luck. But remember, try to understand what is the meaning of revolution in front of a current of ocean, a tsunami, a tornado, sweeping tornado, devastating earthquake, flood, swelling flood, hurricane. You may perform long jump, high jumps, all kinds of jumping and running in the name of revolution and reformation, and as long as they are within the boundary lines of Krishna's constitutions and laws, so long, okay. You don't confront anything as soon as you trespass, then what happens to you? I will rebel, I will regenerate, I will change everything which is not proper, you shout. But if you dash your head on the Mount Himalayas, then it will be your head that will break, and not the mighty Himalayas, okay? If an ant goes to cross the ocean and jumps into it, then what? If the ice of North Pole melts and you are on the way, then what? If Third World War breaks out and bomb blasts right on your head, then what? Your most beloved wife, her son got AIDS, virus, corona, and somebody suddenly comes with machine gun and begins showering bullets on your home, then what would your slogans do? What your contacts with authorities will do? What happens to Adolf Hitler? What happens to Mussolini? What happens to Stalin? Just remember what happens to Aurangzeb, what happens to Qutbuddin and Alauddin. So remember how piteously they died, and there is no one to pray to, no one to ask for help. Of course, there is Allah to help, that is unmanifest, that has no form. Existence of God you have already denied. So if you are atheistic, don't bother or worry about God. Too many discussions and arguments whether He exists or not will not help. If you are in the right state of mind, then be concerned about yourself. Aforesaid situation is there with you to confront. How would you handle it? Evaluate the situation and take care of yourself. It is those who take care of themselves and the Jnanis, the Vedantis who said, yes, God is, but He is unmanifest, formless, without attributes. Nirgun Nirakar. karma rahit. They said God is not a person but a state of consciousness. It is the very extinguishment of the flame of ego, the nirvana. That's what God is. In taking care of themselves and showing themselves more intelligent, more smart and cunning and a scholar, they became so disciplined, so austere, so self-content that even if they are Lord of great peace, still appear to be joyless and lifeless. Why? Because as soon as you say God is not a person but a state of consciousness, He is formless, then Krishna immediately speaks of, yes, formless and manifest. Yes, Nirgun Nirakar I am. And then He has nothing to do with you. God has form and attributes. God is Sagun Sakar. He is effulgent, merciful and almighty. Krishna's voice knows only to echo and re-echo your own steadfastness. That's what he says in Gita, 7th chapter. Whatsoever form of the divine you have faith in, he solidifies that faith more and more. Because all these forms are no one else but mine. This is what Krishna says. Therefore, as soon as you decide spiritedly with the whole of your heart that God is omnipotent, omniscient and merciful, then no longer He can stay indifferent from you. You can rely and depend on His mercy, His help. Shout out to Him, invoke Him, send out your heart to Him, and He will listen. Wait a moment, what did you say? Do you mean you invoked and prayed and He did not respond? Let me ask you a question. Did you invoke Him properly? I mean, no matter what you call Him, Brahma, Paramatma, Bhagavan, God, after all, He is little baby of Nanda Gop, and Gopas are, as you know, are very, very uneducated and very illiterate. Where have you seen uneducated people understand your scholarly, cultured and refined language? He understands neither Sanskrit nor English nor Arabic, nor Russian, nor Chinese, nor any refined language of the world. Did you invoke Him in the language He knows? What language does He respond to? Only the language of the heart, the language of feelings, the language of sensitive heart and love. In that language He has responded even to the elephant, the Gajendra, and the holy cows of Vrindavan, when they said, Humma, Humma, and he heard and he ran down and patted on his back, on her back. In the course of formal acquaintance with God, even in causal acquaintance, it is very important to remember, never at any cost say God is cruel, God is very heartless, God is hard, reckless or indifferent. Never say like that. Why? Because Krishna is extreme in imitating, gullible as He is. Suppose He resonated your words and said, okay, God is cruel, and He started doing all the cruelty to you. And indifference He started doing to you. And then, and that God I am, He will say, then what can you do to Him? Everything is ruined for you in your life. Then how to proceed, my dear friends? Start with following guidelines. You say, Krishna, you are God. Oh, sure, I am God. Krishna cannot say anything else. You are the controller, sustainer, and the Lord of millions of worlds and their creation and maintenance. Yes, sure I am. You are omniscient, almighty, oceanic-hearted, Lord of all lords. Of course that I am. Everybody knows, Krishna says. And I am yours still this with great strength and wholeheartedness. My master, Krishna in the form, in the lion form, picked him up. My dear friends, Krishna in the form of a lion. Yes, you are mine, Krishna will say this with the same weight of jerk on his neck and shake his head in agreement. And see, what more do you want now? Everything you have got. Everything you have gotten. You are a billionaire now. You are rich and famous. Puranas record, and so many people have said, Krishna, you are my master. Yes, I am your master. Krishna, you are my Swami, my Malik. He immediately says, yes, my dear servant. Oh, my dear maid servant. And Krishna responds, you are my father. The whole of Western world prayed. Yes, of course, you are my son. He responded and gave them all the opulence a son deserves. That is why America is so rich. That is why Europe became so rich. You are my friend, one of Sufis said. Yes, I am your friend, Krishna said. You are my beloved, Gopi said. Definitely I am your beloved, he responded. Krishna does not know rejection. Your head moves in acceptance and his moves double. It is you who coach him on non-acceptance. If ever, any time you said, Krishna is no God or there is no God, he immediately nods, yes, I am no God, God exists not. God is, if you said, but he is upset with me. Yes, I am upset with you, Krishna says immediately. Nietzsche says, God is dead and man is free to enjoy. And Krishna says, yes, the God of Western conception is dead and you enjoy. And now the whole Western countries are enjoying. And see what kind of enjoying they are doing. They are so restless, disoriented, cannot live even with wife. They are changing wife at the speed of changing automobiles. They are going to make houses. They cannot decide correctly according to dharma, according to the morals of the ancient great men. Yes, that is the result of enjoying godlessly, and Krishna teaches them. He does not do any favor on me. People said, yes, I am not doing or not going to do any favor on you, Krishna immediately said. Therefore, do not give lessons of non-acceptance to this innocent, gullible baby of Brajmandal. Prahlad said, yes, God is and He is mine and He is right here in this pillar. And then he immediately came out, roaring from that stone pillar. Hiranyakashipu shouted, this magician Narasimha has appeared to kill me. And Krishna in the lion-man form grabbed him, placed him on his